things have been so magical for Disney Star Wars that they spent almost $600 million, the third highest budget in history, on one of the most embarrassing movies ever made. A movie where somehow Palpatine returned and somehow the second Death Star also returned, leaving huge amounts of wreckage somehow after it was eviscerated. And those huge amounts of wreckage somehow fallen into the ocean to create a map that a knife is able to guide you through because, yeah, the ocean's known for not moving things around. Oh, and who can forget that Rey Skywalker is all of the Jedi, so let's ride horses on top of spaceships. And after audiences got a taste of this cinematic masterpiece, it performed just as well as you would expect, as Star Wars lost half of its audience, going from the hype of The Force Awakens making $2.1 billion to The Rise of Skywalker making only $1.1 billion. Like, how much of a disaster do you have to be to scare off half of your fans? And it actually gets worse when you consider the cost to make The Rise of Skywalker, because we got a nice little look underneath the hood as part of the film's budget was released to the public. Because The Rise of Skywalker, like many other studios, moved filming over to the United Kingdom for the tax breaks they'd receive there. But when the UK released the tax documents to the public, that's when studios have a harder time lying about how much their budget is. Like how The Force Awakens originally cost only $250 million to make, but actually cost $639 million and is the most expensive movie ever made. But even with your budget having a high number like $600 million, you might be thinking to yourself that that is no problem at all, since The Rise of Skywalker made $1 billion at the box office. Subtract 600 million from $1 billion and boom, Disney must have made a healthy $400 million profit. Congrats to them. This is all making sense here, except that the budget isn't even including the estimated $200 million they spent on marketing the film. Plus, it's important to recognize that movie theaters don't show your movies for free, as they take about half of the revenue. And overseas, in places like China, they give you pennies on the dollar for every ticket sold. This is all why it's a general rule of thumb that when you have a number for a budget, you need to multiply it by 2.5 to get the break-even point, which here would be 1.48 billion, and then you could subtract the $100 million the UK government gave them as a tax break to get to 1.38 billion as the amount needed just to break even. And on top of that, you need to remember that no studio makes a movie just to break even. Like, for example, if you spent $200 million on a movie just to get $200 million back, that isn't a very good investment. They want the film to be an investment that actually makes money. What a novel idea. But not only did The Rise of Skywalker not make money, not only did it not reach the break-even point, a Star Wars movie ended up losing hundreds of millions of dollars. Congrats to that. But if you think that everything I'm saying is just flat out wrong, I'm just here peddling fake news over here, and The Rise of Skywalker was a massive hit, why do you think that Disney waited 8 years to greenlight another Star Wars movie? If The Rise of Skywalker was so profitable, why are they acting too scared to release anything? If Disney Star Wars was such an inspirational triumph, wouldn't you think that, at the very least, there would be a Rey, Finn, and Poe spin-off show? So why are there only getting Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, and Ahsoka shows instead? Who am I kidding? Star Wars is better than ever, and I just can't wait for their next movie, Baby Yoda and Grogu, to come out and hit theaters and finally save Star Wars.
Thanks for watching
ダックファインダー
on YouTube. For more premium content, subscribe.
Just like the simulation.